Have you ever sat in a room full of people, where one person barely says a word, and yet somehow they feel like they understand everything that's going on? Maybe you've wondered, what are they thinking? Why are they so quiet? Are they shy? Or just uninterested? Well, what if I told you their silence might actually be their greatest strength? Welcome to Mind Matters Expert. In a world that often celebrates loud voices, bold personalities, and constant conversation, quiet people are frequently misunderstood. Their silence is sometimes mistaken for weakness, for disinterest, or even for arrogance. But the truth is, quiet individuals often carry a different kind of strength. A quieter strength, one that isn't always visible on the surface, but runs deep. They tend to have strong emotional intelligence, powerful observational skills, and a rich inner world that's constantly active. So, if you've ever wondered what's really going on behind that calm, silent exterior, let's explore 8 fascinating psychological facts about quiet people. Facts that might completely change the way you see them. Let's start with something interesting. Quiet people are deep thinkers. They don't usually speak just for the sake of speaking. Before they say anything, they think, and then they think again. They process information internally, carefully, deliberately, and often from multiple angles. Instead of reacting instantly, they pause, reflect, and analyze. This means that when they do speak, their words are often meaningful, thoughtful, and well-structured. Their silence isn't emptiness, it's depth. Behind that quiet presence is a mind that is constantly exploring ideas, making connections, and noticing things that others might completely miss. And because they spend more time thinking, something else naturally happens. They become highly observant. When someone talks less, they naturally observe more. Quiet individuals tend to notice the little things, a shift in someone's tone, a subtle change in body language, or the emotion hiding behind a smile. While others are busy expressing themselves, quiet people are absorbing the environment around them. This makes them incredibly perceptive. They often understand people on a deeper level, not because they ask a lot of questions, but because they pay attention. And sometimes they understand more than they let on. Now, here's something you might relate to. Quiet people don't really enjoy small talk. For many of them, it feels exhausting. Conversations about the weather, casual chatter, or surface-level topics often don't hold their interest for long. Instead, they crave depth. They are drawn to conversations about life, ideas, emotions, purpose, and meaning. And when they do open up, you'll often notice something. They don't just talk, they connect. They value quality over quantity. And because of that, their conversations often leave a lasting impact. And that depth in conversation often comes from something even deeper. Quiet people are emotionally self-aware. They spend a lot of time in their own thoughts. And because of that, they develop a strong understanding of their own emotions. They reflect, they process, they try to make sense of what they feel. Now, they may not always express those emotions outwardly. They may not wear their heart on their sleeve. But that doesn't mean they don't feel deeply. In fact, many quiet individuals experience emotions more intensely than others. They just choose to process those emotions internally rather than display them externally. And because they spend so much time thinking for themselves, they often become independent thinkers. Quiet people aren't constantly seeking attention or approval, so they're less likely to be influenced by the noise around them. They don't feel the need to follow the crowd. Instead, they take time to form their own opinions, based on reflection, logic, and personal understanding. They question things, they think critically, and they aren't afraid to see the world differently. This independence makes them incredibly valuable in situations that require original thinking and honest perspectives. But here's something people often don't realize. Quiet people can be extremely loyal. They are usually selective about who they let into their lives. They don't rush into friendships, and they don't open up to just anyone. But once they trust you, once you've earned a place in their world, their loyalty runs deep. They may not always express it in loud or obvious ways, but they show up, they listen, they support, and when it truly matters, they're there. Their relationships are not built on convenience. They are built on sincerity, trust, and genuine connection. Now, let's talk about something that, honestly, a lot of people misunderstand completely. Quiet people recharge through solitude. For them, being alone isn't lonely, it's actually necessary. It's how they reset. After too much social interaction, they can feel mentally drained, even overwhelmed. But give them some time alone, and you'll see a shift. Solitude allows them to reflect, to breathe, to reconnect with themselves. It's where they find clarity. It's where they regain energy. And it's where they feel most at peace. And finally, let's clear up one of the biggest myths of all. Silence does not mean lack of confidence. One of the biggest misconceptions about quiet people is that they lack confidence. But silence doesn't equal insecurity. Many quiet individuals are actually very self-assured. They simply don't feel the need to prove it out loud. They are comfortable with who they are. They don't chase validation. And they don't need to dominate conversations to feel seen. Their confidence is subtle. It shows in their actions, their consistency, and their calm presence. So, let me ask you something. Think about the quietest person you know, the one who doesn't speak much, but always seems to get it. Do you see them differently now? Quiet people may not always be the loudest voices in the room, but they often bring something far more powerful. Depth, clarity, understanding. They listen more than they speak, they observe more than they react, and they connect in ways that go beyond words. And maybe, just maybe, you're one of them too. Before you go, here's a quick challenge for you. Take a moment and ask yourself, are you someone who prefers listening over speaking? Do you find yourself observing people more than engaging in small talk? When you speak, do people tend to really listen? And most importantly, do you see silence as a weakness or as a strength? Count how many of these resonate with you. If it's more than 3, you might have more quiet power than you realize. So, what's your number? And if this made you see yourself or someone else in a new light, take a moment to appreciate the quiet people in your life. And hey, if you enjoy exploring the hidden side of human psychology like this, make sure to like, share, and subscribe to Mind Matters Expert. Because sometimes the most powerful insights are the ones we don't hear loud and clear.